We switch gear now to look at another topic as well, this time around the issues around cooperative and of course good governance and of course the benefits of cooperative for members. And I'm being joined in the studio here by Emmanuel Atama, who is the Executive Secretary, CEO, CFAN, and of course the President, Abuja Cooperative Federation. Glad to have you on Business Daily.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. While that conversation was going on, you were nodding your head. You want to say one or two things about that?
No, I think he has said it all. We really need to redirect our focus as far as this country is concerned, because what most public officers are doing are abominations. And if our forefathers, those we refer to like Azikwe, Amadou Bello, Awolowo, did this type of thing that our public officers are doing, I don't think we would have met Nigeria.
Absolutely. They would not have been a country.
Honestly. Thank you.
All right, moving on now to look at a very important issue. Good cooperative governance is indeed very, very important. But let's look at the benefit that members would derive from a well-run cooperatives.
Yes, a well-run cooperative has a lot of benefit for the members. Because if you look at our society today, access to finance is quite difficult.
Yes.
And the cooperative has been the avenue for them to do that. And that is why we continue to insist that the best way to do it is to ensure that there is good governance. And that is why by tomorrow, we are convening a roundtable in Abuja for cooperative societies, because if you look at it, there are a lot of reforms that are going on. There are a lot of activities going on around the economy. Yes, and then if care is not taken, the way some of our business moguls are going, cooperative might be downplayed. So we felt that we need to meet and discuss around good governance, ask ourselves questions. Are we doing it right? And what it means is that there should be accountability. What it means is that there should be transparency. There is this joke I normally crack among our cooperative leaders, that those who roast corn for blind people must be talking. That when you are roasting corn for blind people, you have to be talking. If you are not talking, the blind person will be suspecting that you are eating the corn. And if you apply it to our public service, you discover that most of our leaders get offended when you ask them for accountability.
Absolutely.
So we believe that a cooperative that is well run will bring dividends to her members. And the best way of doing it is to make sure that we bring in technology. So part of our discussion is going to be on technology.
All right. Apart from that, there is something you talk about. You talk about the reforms going on in the larger economy. Let's quickly look at this issue of tax. I know your members are exempted from tax, but are they truly exempted? Because the issue now is this. Almost when the tax law was, being introduced to Nigerians, what we're told is that this is to take care of the poor people, you understand, to exempt them from paying tax or paying charges. But as we speak, there is quite a whole lot of charges that young people are paying, where you make a transaction of 10,000 naira and above, a certain amount of money is deducted from your account. And if you look at the category of people that make these transactions, they fall below this cadre that the government said is trying to protect.
The issue is that our members are not exempted from tax, but the cooperative
yes,
as the entity is exempted. As a matter of fact, we try to encourage our members to formalize their business, which is the intent and purpose of the SMEDAN, the Small, Medium and Enterprises Development of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, CFAN and SMEDAN have been working together with the Central Bank of Nigeria on the National Financial Inclusion Strategy, making sure that cooperative as an entity is funded by already tax fund. So any attempt to tax the cooperative again, you are double taxing the owners, So government, in its own wisdom, in compliance with global best practice, exempted cooperative as a matter of law, the Cooperative Act, which has not been changed, from paying tax. But the individuals pay tax.
The individual pay tax. If I'm contributing to cooperative, at a point, even before I contributed, the tax has been taken already from my salary, from my earnings. Now, when I'm taking money from cooperative, am I still going to pay tax on that money I'm taking from cooperative societies?
No, you don't. Cooperatives don't. As a matter of fact, cooperative transactions are not taxed. So whatever you do with the cooperative or the cooperative do with you is not taxable. Except when you go to banks, and banks will start charging your account. Because there is this
that is the area
there is this small money that leaves my account every Sunday.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
That is the area I'm talking about.
Yes.
The charges from banks since the beginning of the year has increased astronomically.
Another thing again is that to know whether the banks are really remitting this money to government. Because it's one thing to take it away, it's another thing to remit it. But our own insistence is that since the law has recognized us as an entity that is contributing to human capital development and that the members are already paying tax, so don't tax their business again, which is the cooperative, raising money and giving to themselves as loan. So we are insisting that that should not be taken away. So one of our major discussion tomorrow is to also review the new tax law and then also see the implication on cooperative activities, and also, as a matter of fact, encourage our members to make sure that if they fall within the tax bracket, they should ensure that there is compliance.
Talking about compliance, a lot of people don't really have problem with compliance. The major concern is I am complying in tax payments. I am complying in, doing my own part as a citizen of Nigeria. But is the government doing their own part?
You see, the issue is that my personal principle is that try as much as possible not to be at fault. The other end can be at fault. But those who believe that it will continue like this in Nigeria will be shocked when things turn around. It will be a big shock to them. Things are not going to continue the way it is in Nigeria. So I believe that through pressures from various ends, Nigeria must change for good.
Indeed. All right. Let's look at the issue of maintain the discussion around cooperative and look at the autonomy and the kind of independence that it enjoys. How much of benefit do you think this has on members or contributors?
Yes, we try as much as possible to insist that the cooperative organization is not an appendage of anybody. Even the government that registers the cooperative is not an appendage of the either federal or state government. It has its own autonomy. I listened to one of our cooperative authors when he said that cooperative is more or less like a government of your own. And it has been there because if not for the autonomy, there are some offices that actually want to mess around with the cooperatives. A situation where some management want to interfere into cooperative activity, put in place those that want to run the cooperative, and then the autonomy makes us to tell them that, look, it is not like that. And it is a global best practice that the cooperative is autonomous. But where the bigger challenge we are having is that if you are autonomous, what it means that you run within what you have. But you discover that these days, cooperative dues, something that is due to cooperative from either the government or private organizations are not given to them on time, to the extent that they start begging for it. So it touches on their autonomy and the independence, and to a larger extent, it affects their deliverables to their members. But what we know is that based on global best practice, cooperative is autonomous and independent.
When you say what is due to cooperative sometimes are not being given to them, where do you think it is the gap? Where does that gap exist, and how can it be bridged?
You see, if you go to most government institutions today, ministries, departments, agencies, you discover that there is none of them that don't have cooperative. And to a larger extent, you discover that the funds that are deducted from their members' salaries are not remitted on time. To the extent that some of them have to go and start begging those in IPPIS to say, please, give us our money, give us our money.
That's in government agencies mostly.
Even in some private sector organizations that we intervened recently, you know, it's like a norm, a very bad one around, that his salary is 1 million, cooperative deduction is 200,000, you pay the 800,000 and you leave the 200,000 as if it does not exist. And you know that these funds are people's part of their salary if they were not cooperative members. So it have in a way affect their independence. Independence in the sense that if the funds are available, they will go independently and do their activities without looking the other way. But now that the funds are not remitted as at when due, it affects that independence that is given to them by law.
All right. Another one again is the issue of transparency and accountability. How accountable are cooperatives? I mean, you've supervised quite a whole lot.
Yes, it's part of our discussion tomorrow and next at the FCT Cooperative Roundtable. Like I always say, one major way of achieving transparency and accountability in modern time is through technology. And this year, by February, we are celebrating 10 years of the use of the Unified Cooperative Platform, which is our technology platform developed for us by our partner CWG PLC. And that has helped in a way that as the member is putting money into his or her cooperative account, the member is getting alerts, the same way the banks provide the alerts. And then whatever that is done in such a transparent way that the communications move without any interference. It moves on its own as you direct it to be. And whatever that is done can easily be seen by the other persons. So you discover that how we intend to entrench accountability, transparency, is through this technologically driven system. And like I said, for 10 years, we have made use of it, and it has worked for us. So what we are trying to do now is to bring more cooperatives on board. And you know, most of the time when you talk about technology, people tell you, what about people in the rural area? They are even the ones that enjoy technology the most. Because as I speak with you, if not for technology, I wouldn't have been here. And as I'm speaking to you, before leaving the office, I told some of my members I'll be here. And some of them at the grassroots are also seeing us from here. You know, so we believe that we just need to add more numbers as the day goes by to our arrangement on transparency, which is driven by technology. So we are doing so much on it, and we are insisting that that should be done so that cooperative can be sustainable.
Indeed, very, very important. There was something you made mention. You said you've intervened recently in some agencies where they were not remitting cooperative contributions. How much of that intervention do you think you need to ensure that you have, to have a cooperative that operates each free?
Yes, what we need to do is to continue to advocate. And we also tell our cooperative leaders, because cooperatives have what we call a self-regulatory mechanism, like in terms of dispute. Because where most of these organizations capitalize on and start doing some of the things that they are doing that are not good, is when cooperative people take their matters outside the cooperative to the management of the organization. Assuming you start reporting your president to a director, you start reporting your management committee to a director, then they will now start interfering, and some of them will say, yes, we kept the money because the other time they reported that so thing is there, whereas cooperative should resolve its matter around within themselves, and by law, if they cannot resolve it, they now refer to the office of the director for resolution, because there is a standing arbitration panel in the office of the director to resolve issues like that. It is when the panel cannot resolve it, the law says you appeal to the governor of the state, or in the case of FCT, the minister, and if you are not satisfied with the governor or minister's directive, then you can approach the court. So we believe that for us to have that autonomy and independence, and to make sure that things run the way it's supposed to be, cooperative should learn to do things within their established framework.
Indeed. As we wrap up now, let's look at the impact of cost of living on cooperative contributions. In the last 2.5 years has been something difficult for Nigerians. Cooperative members are also citizens. They are part of the country. How much of impact do you think this current economic situation is having on cooperative contributions?
You see, it has made contributions worthless, in the sense that if you are giving loan of 100,000 before and it's doing much for people, now 100,000 is like 10,000 naira. So that is why most cooperatives today are trying to raise their share capital to have more funds so that they can give loan that is commensurate with what is happening within the economy. So it has adversely affected cooperative contribution to the extent that some people cannot even contribute again. And apart from that, some people cannot even pay their loans. You know, so the economy is so bad. But we believe that what we also going to discuss tomorrow and next is on access to credit. Because if you look at our economy, in my recent conversation with the World Bank, they were laughing at us. Say, look at Nigeria, you know, other advanced economies have access to credit. Is that not? That is where you have the credit card.
Absolutely.
But Nigeria, everything is cash. And because of this cash nature of our economy, that is why stealing is very high. Because if you have a verifiable means of income, and then you have access to credit, and you repay within time frame, anytime you have need, you go for it. Is that not? But a situation whereby it is cash that must go all the time. That is why you have this issue of stealing within the economy. And we see cooperative as a veritable tool of doing this. Because if you look at ministries, departments, agencies, some of them have cash flow of 500 million, 200 million on a monthly basis. When this money comes in as savings and loan repayment by members, it still go back to them. So I tell you that it's just a few number of people that goes to bank for loan. So we believe that by the time cooperative work very well, everything will be good. And then with respect to the issue of the impact on this thing, we believe that when we strengthen our credit facility and people are able to have access to good sums of money, and we giving reasonable time frame to pay, no matter how difficult the economy is, you'll be able to navigate around it and find a good living.
Before we go, we have about 30 seconds. You talk about the issue of, cooperative bank the other time that you were on this program. What progress has been made in that regard? Are we on the right trajectory?
Yes, we are working on it. But the first step we have taken now is the establishment of the Cooperative Development Fund. We believe that when the funds become well functional, then from there we can raise the necessary funds for setting up of the bank. And we are still talking to government that we have existing cooperative banks today that cooperative have disappeared from their name. But we know that they are originally cooperative banks. So we are also taking care to make sure that we don't fall into a mistake of the past.
All right. Indeed. Very, very important. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Atama, Executive Secretary, CEO, CFAN, and of course, President, Abuja Cooperative Federation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
With that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogu.